Hey guys, welcome back to another hero guide, this time with REY. REY is a solid, aggressive character and someone who is good for any situation. In this video, we'll be going over REY's health, damage, and stamina, next abilities and all their stats and key notes, then tips, star cards and bass maps and super game modes, and finally tips, star cards, and heroes to watch out for in hero game modes. By the end of this video, you'll have learned a lot more about REY and how to play her. If you're only interested in one part of this video, then you can skip ahead by looking at the timestamps on this video. If you end up enjoying this video, then make sure to leave a like so more people can see and get help by this video. And of course, if you're new here, then I would really appreciate it if you subscribed so you can see more videos like this. I'm almost at 200 subscribers, so hopefully we can get there soon. But I do want to get into one last thing before we start the video. It's pretty apparent that at this rate it's going to take me forever to do all the hero guides, so let me know in the comments what guides you want next. I'm planning to do Boba and Han, but if people want otherwise, I'm happy to change that. But now sit back and relax because this video is going to be a long one. Most heroes in Battlefront 2 have pretty similar stats, and REY for the most part falls into that category. She isn't as strong as others since her strengths lie mainly in her abilities. REY does have the average health of 750, which is solid for a lightsaber hero. Her health regen is 250, which is also very average. She also regains her health in a pretty average time. So like I said, there is really nothing special about REY's health, and it's not an amount you can be extra aggressive or you need to be extra careful with. REY uses Anakin's and her own lightsaber as her weapon. Her damage isn't as good as other heroes. She only does 120 damage to the front and 140 damage to the back, which is lower than most heroes. The reason I really put this damage as bad is the fact that REY can't one-shot anyone to the back, which is something pretty much every hero can do. But it still isn't that big of a deal since when you have Insight active, REY's damage goes up to 140 from the front and 160 to the back, which is pretty average or at least good enough. REY has a standard stamina of 10 attacks and 14 blocks. This is fine on its own, but another bonus of having Insight is it doubles your stamina, so that goes all the way up to 20 attacks and 28 blocks, which is pretty insane. So overall, REY's stats aren't the best, but they can get carried pretty well by Insight. On to REY's abilities, they are really solid and they are the best part about her. Each ability can be really useful and each of them pairs really well when you combine them. REY is another character where none of her abilities really have long cooldowns, so I recommend pretty much constantly using them. REY's left ability is Dash Strike. When Dash Strike is activated, REY quickly dashes ahead with her lightsaber. It does heavy damage against her opponents and can even knock down villains. It does 130 damage, which can't one-shot enemies, but that damage can be improved to 169 with star cards. It has a cooldown of 10 seconds, which is pretty short. Because the time is short, I use it a lot when there are multiple enemies since it's really easy to kill them all quickly. For the range, I'd say it's about 15 meters, but I don't know for sure. For my keynotes, you are exposed when you use this ability, so you can take a lot of damage quickly. If you attack right as you hit your target with Dash Strike, then you can very quickly get in another hit, making it a really quick way to deal with any infantry you didn't do enough damage to one-shot them. This works really well against villains since you can knock them down and get an easy 2 shots on them, so you can easily get 400 damage on a hero pretty much instantly. It's even easier to hit someone with this when they are mind tricked because of their limited mobility. The best way to hit someone with mind trick that's blocking is doing quick turns and coming in at an angle. It's pretty simple. Go towards your target's side when they are facing you, and right as you reach them or right as you get behind them, you can quickly turn around and knock them down. This works even easier with a higher sensitivity. REY's middle ability is Insight. This is probably one of the best and most helpful abilities in the game. It reveals all enemies within a 30-meter radius to REY and her allies. This can go up to 42 meters with star cards. It lasts for 8 seconds, but that can go up to 15 seconds with star cards. It has a really short cooldown of 10 seconds. This means that with star cards, you can have Insight on more than you have it off. REY also disappears from the minimap, making it so that you can easily sneak up on people. Like I said earlier, REY gets 20 more damage to her lightsabers and double the stamina. For my keynotes, make sure you are constantly using this ability since it's such a big help to the team. This ability alone can completely change the tide of the battle. It has a short cooldown, so like I said, use this ability right as it gets off cooldown. Another important thing is to use this ability to help you attack and defend objectives. When you're attacking an objective, there are usually multiple ways to get into the objective. With Insight, you will be able to see where the other team is defending the objective, so you will know where the weak points are. You are also hidden from the radar, so the other team won't know how many heroes are coming in from that side. It's the same with defending an objective. You can see where the biggest group of people is trying to attack an objective, and you can always be at the right spot to shut it down. This ability is also just a great way to go on longer kill streaks since you know where to get all the kills. For the right ability, REY has Mind Trick. Arguably REY's worst ability, yet it is still very good. REY's Mind Trick inverts her opponent's controls and lowers their sensitivity a lot. It has a range of 18 meters but can go to 23.4 meters, and the effect lasts 4 seconds, but that can be bumped to 5.2 seconds with star cards. It does have a longer cooldown of 20 seconds. For my keynotes, try to attack when you activate this ability. This seems obvious, but once you Mind Trick another hero, try to immediately attack while you have the chance. The other thing is to use this ability at the right time. I'll use it against a reinforcement, heavy, a hero, or just anyone that can do a lot of damage, but against anyone else, I usually don't want to waste this ability. REY absolutely destroys in Galactic Assault. Regular troopers have no chance against REY's abilities. Because of Insight, REY is probably my favorite hero to play in Galactic Assault. It's just so easy to run around and get kills when you know where everyone is. So you can run around, sneak up on people, and you will go on some long kill streaks. For my tips, REY seems easy to play with her Insight, but I think that gives some people some false confidence. When you have Insight active, you think you can just rush into any scenario and be fine because you know where everyone is. But the thing is, most people don't prepare correctly. You can get easily surrounded because you just ran into a group of people of which you thought you easily had. When you're surrounded, REY can have a tough time doing well. Mind Trick has a small area of effect and has a decently sized animation, and Dash Strike can only knock out so many people, not to even mention that REY is exposed when she uses this ability because her block isn't up. My other tip is when using REY's abilities, come in from the side. After you use Mind Trick, don't continue to run straight at your enemy. This completely defeats the purpose of lowering your enemy's sensitivity. Instead, be sure to dash to the side so you can attack at their side and they will have zero chance of doing damage to you. It's the same with doing dash attack. When you use it, don't run straight at someone. Swerve around so it's really hard for your opponents to hit you. Against someone that has a high damage blaster, they can do a surprising amount of damage in a short time when you go right at someone. For my star cards, REY has a lot of star cards that aren't that useful, so you need to pick the right star cards. The first important one is Focus Sight. This increases the duration of Insight by 7 seconds, which is a long time, especially when you compare it to the short cooldown of Insight. Insight, of course, is really good, as I went over earlier. So being able to have this ability on more than off is pretty insane, and it makes this star card one of REY's most important star cards. The next really important one is Damaging Strikes. This gives a 30% damage increase to Dash Strike, bringing the total damage to 169, which allows it to one-shot all infantry except heavies, and can even one-shot heavies if they've taken just a little bit of damage. REY's Dash Strike is much worse without this card, so it's an absolute must. The last card that I also definitely think is worth using is Resilient Dash. This gives REY 40% damage reduction during Dash Strike. Without this card, REY can be pretty vulnerable when she uses Dash Strike. She really isn't a hard target to hit, so you can lose a lot of health really quickly if you use this ability at the wrong time. So that's where this star card comes in. It gives you much more health, so you won't be losing too much health when you use Dash Strike, and it makes it an ability that's safe to use at pretty much all times. Now for REY's best maps, REY is a hero that works on pretty much all maps, so you can do well with her anywhere. But the maps that I think you can do best with her are first Naboo. This is a map anyone can do good on, but I've gone on so many good kill streaks with her on this map. The next map is Endor. Insight is absolutely perfect for this map since you can see where everyone is in the forest and you can constantly ambush people. The final map is Death Star 2, since in the close quarters, REY can help her team a crazy amount with her insight, and it makes it massively easier for her team to attack the objective. REY is really well suited for hero combat. REY's Mind Trick is a super helpful ability that will always annoy the other team, and REY's Dash Strike is crazy good against anyone. REY's Insight is also very useful here, since it grants REY double the stamina, and knowing where the team is helps REY's team to attack and defend really well. All of these abilities can help REY out, and it makes her a really strong hero. She's personally one of my favorites because I think her playstyle is just so fun. For my tips now, you have to capitalize on REY's Dash Strike. REY's Dash Strike is an easy 400 damage that regens every 10 seconds, so she can constantly be doing this good damage. But if you don't use Dash Strike to at least the simple combo that is just Dash Strike and then 2 hits, then REY is going to be a lot weaker. So activate this ability when your opponent's blockades down, or try to do the angle trick with Dash Strike when your opponent is just sitting there blocking. My other tip is just stick with your team since all of REY's abilities benefit your teammates a lot. Now for star cards, the first star card is Balance. This gives REY a third dash, but REY's stamina is reduced. A third dash is really nice in dueling since the extra mobility is always helpful. The stamina drain isn't too bad, and she doesn't even have to focus on that when she has Insight active. The second card is Street Fighter, which gives REY extra stamina. The extra stamina is of course always helpful for any hero, so I recommend using that card. The third card is Damaging Strike, which gives extra damage to enemies hit with Dash Strike. This extra damage is just nice and useful when you hit people with Dash Strike. The final thing is heroes to watch out for. REY overall can do good against any hero, but she can have a more difficult time against these heroes. The first one is Darth Vader, which of course any hero needs to watch out for him, but he is especially dangerous since he can easily counter Dash Strike with Choke. The next hero is Dooku since his dodges can counter Mind Trick and Lightning Stun counters Dash Strike. The final hero is Captain Phasma since REY has no crowd control abilities to pull Phasma from her droid. But that's all for my REY hero guide. REY is really fun in all situations and can dominate at any time, which makes her a smart choice for any situation. Hopefully these tips helped you out and you can now play REY better. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.